22nd, 2025. I'm calling today Gardening Day. Gardening Saturday, that is. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. This is a video that I do to go over my last 24 hours and plan for the coming day. It's a journal, basically, a touch point along the way. But before I start, let me thank and welcome new subscribers to the channel. It's good that you're here. Thank you so much. And a little disclaimer, this video is not necessarily a Japan video, although I am filming it live in a Japanese convenience store. This video, as I mentioned, is more of a journal entry that I make along the way. I do it every day. You can always pick these out because they have the title The Good Life at the beginning, which is the title that I gave to the creed that I use to live my life to the best of my ability. Also, I talk about subjects that are sensitive to some people, like death. So just be warned that you may hear things that may make you uncomfortable if that's the case. Also, I want to thank my YouTube members, my Patreon folks, and those that watch my videos. You bought not only my coffee this morning, which is UCC Beans and Roasters Cafe Latte, big can. It's a lot of stuff in here. I also got a melon pond this morning. I was really active yesterday with gardening, and so I need some calories. So I go right off the bat. So thank you for that. It's just past 6 a.m. by the way, here in Japan. Okay. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk about three things. Three main categories. One, I'll go over the last 24 hours, basically the period of time since I made the same video yesterday, and then look for any challenges or opportunities that I met in that 24 hours, and talk about how I handled them and how I could have done better. Basically, try to tune and improve. I take each day very seriously, serious enough to reflect on it actively, as I'm doing now, and also to give it a name. Today's name, like I said, is Gardening Saturday, because I plan to spend the focus of my attention in the yard today, although it would be more like landscaping than gardening. In the course of this meditation, which is what I call these meditations, because they really are, they're not this type of meditation, but meditation in terms of reflection. I will also go over the 8 objectives of my creed, and then I'll finish. That's the second of the three things. And then the third thing I'll do is I'll lay out what the coming day is like and how I'm going to handle that. There's one more thing. A lot to cover today. Okay, now I always have a notepad for every day. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I begin my engagement, which means I respond to all comments on social media and in particular YouTube, and I catch up on all my email. That took me a long time this morning. I was busy from 4 a.m. until 5:30 a.m. when I began my walk. It took me only about 10 minutes to get here. That's because I wasn't walking from the house that Yumiko and I bought. Oh, by the way, time out. I'm an American man living in Japan, married to a Japanese woman. We've been together 38 years. We recently retired. Our daughter, Emily, is 24, had graduated university. We're in California where we were living, and she has a job now in Tokyo. Yumiko and I have just settled here in Shizuoka City, Shizuoka Prefecture, near Mount Fuji. We bought a house in January, and we're just now settling in. We're in our 5th night in our new house, but we're staying the night in our old apartment, which we have the lease for until the end of February, for the convenience of the bathroom, because we need to have the remodeling of our bathroom in our new place. So this mini stop where I'm doing my Good Life meditation would be about a 10-minute walk from my house, but it's only just literally just down the street from my apartment, so it's not far. So let's get into it. I've got 4 things I want to cover this morning. All of them basically, now that I'm looking at them, so I lay them out on paper. I take notes every day, and I look at the day, and I look at what's happened in the last 24 hours, and I try to think about it. And you can't read this. It's impossible to read, or for anyone other than me to read my writing. So the last 24 hours, there are 4 things I want to cover. A sense of drift, a sense of age, oh yeah, that's the word is ghosts. The ghosts of retirement and sense of money. Let's go over them one by one, and in a sense, collectively. Okay, I'm now, it's day 60, today is day 70 in my retirement. So what is that? It's just about 9 weeks in. And I want to report that for me, there's a profile of retirement, whereas here it is roughly. The first 2 weeks were euphoria, like being on a vacation, like being in Hawaii for 2 weeks, just pure bliss, just like, can't believe this is happening, yay, we'll pop the, the celebration. And I knew that wouldn't last. That's that early excitement phase. After about 2 weeks, and I'm roughly chunking this into blocks, and others, I've read about this, and other people have described something similar in their retirement journey. After about the first 2 weeks, there was kind of a sense of settling into damn, I wish I had written it down, because I about 1 month in, I wrote this down. I wish I could remember now. Now I can't remember. Hold on. So 2 weeks of bliss, about another 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I remember now. How do I word it though? I'm going to say uncertainty. Arigatou. Okay, that takes me to a month. Okay, here's how I'm gonna chunk it in. I tried to lay it out. I was just saying goodbye to the staff that were working here. Okay, I've tried to lay it out. I'm 9 weeks into retirement, and here's a rough chart of what the experience has been like. Into two 1 month blocks, and then a week after that, the 9th week. The first month was 2 weeks. I'm roughly, again, these are just rough guidelines. The first month was 2 weeks of bliss, followed by 2 weeks of uncertainty, followed by 2 weeks of doubt. The 4th, the 5th, and 6th weeks were like, what the hell have I done? And then 2 weeks of comfort. Oh, wait a minute, that's 2 months right there. There we go. That's why the problem was. I think it was 1 week. Yeah, there we go. And then followed by almost a solid month of, like if you'd stumbled on a tree root and you're stumbling across the path and you're trying to recover your footing, about a month of that. The second month of retirement was this kind of stumbling sense. And then now I'm in the 9th week. Yumiko feels it too. It's like, a little bit like being lost. Being pretty sure you found the path, but not even confident in that. And we're both experiencing that. Now, for Yumiko and I, this problem is compounded perhaps by the fact that we've switched countries. We gave up our life in America. We bought a new house. We bought the house with and this was a big factor. We bought the house with all of the prior owner's stuff in it. So we had to deal with moving into a house that it was like almost feels like it's somebody else's house, which it was. Perhaps those that retire that don't go through that same methodology, that retire into their own home that they've been comfortable in for decades, their community, their family, etc., maybe they would have a different experience. Maybe they would face different challenges. In some ways, I think Yumiko and I are fortunate in that that's interesting to consider. What is it that we're maybe not haunted by, so to speak? I'm using a lot of haunted references. That's really interesting. What is the opposite side of this coin? Okay, we retired, and I'm going to use a word that I use a lot because it's such a great word. We retired into a new paradigm. And that would explain the feeling of being a little bit lost and confused. Versus, what would it be like to retire into a familiar paradigm? I don't know, because I didn't do that. I think a lot of people do that. I'll let them speak to that. So the 4 points I have here are a sense of drift. That's explained by the fact that we are, in fact, actually drifting. A sense of age. That sense of age, that's coming of the difficult effort of the move and the gardening, which are proving more consequential and challenging than at any age before. Yumiko and I have moved a lot, and we've moved a lot harder than this, even within the last 5 years, and nothing is as hard as this. I think that really does compound it all. Now there's another one here, the ghost. I'm calling it the ghosts of retirement. Why did I just wrote this down 10 minutes ago. I think that phrase refers to this overall aspect. And then the last one, money. This is an interesting one. Money is listed here because I don't have access to my wife's computer for about a week. I'm the kind of person that I'm very budget conscious, and I'm a spreadsheet kind of guy, and I have budget management spreadsheets on. I have a online service that I use, and I keep all my spreadsheets on it, and I use my wife's computer to access it. It's too hard to use spreadsheets on my phone. And since we moved to the new house, the computer, we don't have internet at the house, so her computer is and it's all online. I could download it to the computer, I know. But so what I'm basically saying is I don't have access to my spreadsheets. So as we're proceeding, we have some big choices to make, decisions to make here in terms of like the Japanese bath remodel, etc. I don't have access to my spreadsheets to look at the budget numbers, and so I have this sense that I'm disconnected from the finance, from the money side of things. I mean, I can access the bank accounts, I can see how much money's there, but it's comforting to me. Almost every day I look at our budget and I see how things are doing. How are we doing relative to our guidelines? And I don't have that sense right now. Although it's only been a week, not much changes. That's disconcerting. Didn't realize just how and I didn't really realize what it was. This is why this exercise is so good and so important. I knew that money was on my mind, but I couldn't figure out why, and now I know why. It's because I don't have access to my dashboard. That's precisely what it is. For example, case in point, we were at the remodel place the day before yesterday, and we were talking to the representative there, and she asked us, what's our budget? What's the budget for the bathroom remodel? And Yumiko said, she looked at me and she said, it's 1.5 million yen, right? And I was like, because I have a bad memory. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. But, if I had looked at my budget that morning, I would have seen, and I don't know because I haven't checked it for a while. I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 million yen. I think she got that number because I told her that. I mean, I know what the overall remodel budget is. It's 4 million yen, and I think 1.5 million yen was for the Japanese bath. So if I had looked at the budget that morning, the dashboard, I could have said with confidence, yes, it's our budget for the remodel is 1.5 million yen. But because I haven't seen the dashboard in a week, I didn't know. And so it gnawed at me, and I turned to her and I was like, yeah, I think that's right. But deep inside, it was kind of twisting my heart. I got to the bottom of that. So how do I deal with all this? Okay, I got 4 items here. The sense of drift, the sense of age, the ghosts of retirement. What is that? I just wrote that down and I don't even remember what this is about. Ghosts of retirement. And then the money. Okay, the sense of drift. This is me utilizing the principles of my creed. Okay, the sense of drift. I'm going to apply reason to this one. The reason would state that I should expect to drift until I'm no longer drifting. I should expect to have a sense of drift as long as I am drifting. And Yumiko and I are literally between apartments right now. We're between lives, and we won't really be settled into our new place until after the end of the month, and we start sleeping again at the new house. So I can't address the sense of drift until March at best. So what I have to do is I have to live with the sense of drift. I have to expect to feel this way. And there's nothing much that I can do about it between now and then. So that's the first one, okay? So sense of drift, reason would state this is a reasonable thing to feel, and I can't expect to address it until I'm able to address it, which won't be until March. Now, the sense of age, this is coming of the halting ability, our waning strength and capability and interest. Yumiko and I really dodged a bullet in not buying a place that we can't handle. The house and yard that we got are definitely manageable by us, but we're learning that it's a lot of work, and we're just kind of both astonished by discovering how quickly we are aging. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. How quickly we are aging. I've said this before. For me, it began around age 57, 58. I really began to feel like accelerated aging. That's probably not the right word. It's probably just a normal effect of aging. But everything beginning to change, even down to the point of my bodily temperature feels different. I feel like I'm operating colder. I'm not as strong. I'm not as capable. I'm not as vital in many, many ways. I'm not lamenting that, and I'm not even looking for a solution to it other than the fact that I do live a good life. I get lots of exercise, and I eat healthy, with the exception of a sugary can of coffee once in a while. And a melon pod. So how do I address that then? Reason, again, applying reason would state that sensing your age at age 60 is a reasonable thing to do. What do I do about that? Well, I mitigate it through living well, not extraordinary means, but living well, eating a good diet, getting plenty of exercise, and realizing where the limits are so that I don't overdo it. Like in the garden, I tend to overdo it in the garden. I'm getting pretty good. The last couple of days out in the garden, I've been able to stop myself and take a break. So I'm going to keep that up. Okay, I'll come back to this ghosts of retirement. The money one. What can I do about the money? Well, that's easy. Look at my damn spreadsheet, right? So, and especially now that we're spending the mornings or the nights back at the apartment where we have internet and the computer is there, I can go back to the apartment after this, bring up my budget, and look at the damn budget this morning and confirm that I have 1.5 million yen allocated to the bathroom remodel. Dummy. Do I know what to do about that? There's ghosts of retirement. Oh, I remember what it was. Totally remember what it was. What I was referring to, the ghost of retirement, was this interesting sense that when whatever we were, this is, I'm going to say it for me and extrapolate it to others, whatever I was and whatever challenges I faced, besides the challenges of work, which are no more, I should expect to face them again after about 8 or 9 weeks of retirement. Basically, we can't outrun who we are. We all know this. Any reasonable adult knows that whoever and whatever we are can't be escaped other than through the hard work of self-improvement. I will point out though that one thing that did change was the incredible, awful, weighty stress that work brought about. That is gone. Plus also the stress of money. Now that we have our house paid for and our taxes are like $15 a month for our property taxes, and we've got our secure income for life, I don't worry about money and I don't worry about work. And those are that's like 50% of the weight of the horrible pressure on my life that I had before retirement. 50% of that has been removed. However, the personal issues that I have, my inability to, for example, to take a break. I'm not good at taking a break or resting. My incessant drive to fill my days with, well, I guess these are two sides of the same coin, right? Not being able to take a break and an incessant drive to fill my life with purposeful activity are the same damn thing, which some might say that they're not necessarily a bad thing. They are, I mean, I certainly enjoy it. I guess I consider it a bad thing when I look at people who tell me that I should take a break and that they're enjoying taking a break, which I'm practically incapable of doing. I never have been, even as a boy. And then I have to ask them, okay, let's apply reason to it. So let's say to that. Let's apply reason to that. How would I want to spend my day? Like people tell me to take a break and to relax. I don't want to do that. I enjoy the way I am. I guess I'm measuring myself when I do this against the model that others provide when they tell me that relaxation, that taking a break is a pleasurable thing, which I can't relate to. Anyway, I'm off drift, aren't I? The point was ghosts of retirement. I should update my book Retiring in Japan with that information that we can't outrun ourselves. Okay, I think I've covered the last 24 hours. There was a lot there. Okay, let's go over the 8 objectives of my creed, outlined in my book, Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life. Number 1 is to be always ready to die, to have my affairs in order, my relationship sound, and my life's work complete. And I have to ask myself every day, is that the case? And I would say that it is, with the exception of the fact that I'm not looking at my budget every day. And so I can't say with confidence that my affairs are in order, because I don't know if we're abiding our budget. So I will address that today. As soon as I get back to the house, I'll fire up Yumiko's computer and have a look at the budget. 2, my relationships are sound and my life's work is complete. So those are good. So I think I'm ready to die, except for I need to check the budget. But even then, if I died and my everything else is in order, so that's good. Number 2, to make good and effective use of time, to not waste my days. Number 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. Those are these objectives and principles out, which I'm enumerating right now, at least the objectives. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions relative to the creed. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. And 8, to keep my balance as much as I can, both here and here. Now, for the next 24 hours, it's a Saturday. I've already got laid out. I don't know why I'm sitting here hesitating. I'm trying to capture a feeling that I had before I started the list. Have you ever had those days when you have a free day, which is every day now for me, and you're not exactly sure how to fill it, and you're not a guy that can relax? That's kind of how it felt this morning before the sun came up. I know in last night's Retiring in Japan blog post, I talked about how Yumiko and I are taking on the house from 2 angles. She's looking at the front door to refinish the front door, and I'm working on the backyard to make it so that we want to have a doggy door, so the dogs can go in and out and access the backyard. I've pretty much turned the soil on all the land in the back, and now I need to start constructing some sort of a solution back there. That's what I'm going to do. When I get back to the house, it'll be by 7 a.m. We'll take the dogs for a walk. I'm going to suggest to Yumiko and I that we go out for breakfast, and that I want to talk to her about the garden. And I want to look up some garden ideas about how to fence the yard. I feel it change. I feel it changing now. It's changing from anxiety about what to do today to excitement about what to do today. Now that I'm engaging the wheels like the chain on a sprocket on a bike, and you feel it, and then suddenly it engages and clicks, and then you start pushing. That's how it feels right now, because I'm wrapping my mind around the garden. Yeah, so we'll have breakfast, and we'll take the dogs back to the house, and I'm going to start to work on the garden. I think Yumiko's going to work on cleaning up the apartment. If it sounds like she's got the dirty deal, that's because she wanted to. She wanted to do that, so I don't think I do a good enough job. Let's look at comments before I wrap up. Act 98006, Kurt, you used a ton of those plastics garbage bags. How much did each one cost, and how many did you end up using? I know I used a lot. I don't know how much they cost, and I don't know how many we used. Sorry. Vladimir says, Hi, Vladimir, with a pink hand. Or red hand. Act 98006, can you tether your computer to your phone to access the internet? Yes. No, I can't. Because the phone, well, I could and I can't. I can. The short answer is yes. I could do that. It's easier just to go back to the apartment where we still have internet. Robert, hi Robert. Hi. Robert says hi to everybody. Robert continues, Kurt, would this be related to a lower weight of responsibility? Not sure what the context of that comment is. Sorry, Robert. Old Tasty, there's a new name. Hi, Old Tasty. Nice to meet you. Hi, Kurt. My wife and I are 57 now, and we're feeling the same thing. I was wondering if you have any concerns living in a 2-story home. We do have, and so thank you, Old Tasty, for sharing your affirmation, so to speak, that there's something to this 57, 58 thing. I've looked it up, and it seems to be, I even talked to ChatGPT about it, and it said, indeed, seems to be something around this age range that we go through some sort of a metabolical or some sort of a change. So it seems to be a real thing. We are concerned about the 2-story house, but we have a big room on the first floor that we're calling the guest room, that when Yumiko and I get old enough and we can't go up and down the stairs, we're just going to move down to that, and then the whole thing will be ground floor living. Another benefit, Old Tasty, about living in this particular house, that we bought this house, is that it's very convenient. It's flat land walking to 2 train stations, Clinics are everywhere. It's you know, pharmacies, all that stuff. So we avoided the challenge of, it would have been tough if we had moved way out into the countryside and then growing older and not having access to amenities. And let's get through this 57 into 60 thing, Old Tasty. Let's do this. Robert says hi to Old Tasty. Old Tasty says hi to all. Act 98006 says, why don't you print out the budget so you have a hard copy to refer to, or make a PDF, or if you can save it on the phone to refer to. In fact, I do have it on the damn phone. Sorry, I do have it. I just don't, I can bring it up and I can actually look at it. So that's a good point. I mean, I have access to the same online service on my phone. It's just, it's a little screen and I have to do this thing. And the problem is that I can't edit it. And I like the dashboard. I'm a creature of habit. I like flipping the screen up, having the budget right there. I've got it perfectly sized on the screen and I can fiddle with it. I'm always making adjustments, and I've got my coffee and I've got my notebook. So I'm a creature of habit. But in a stretch, I can actually bring it up on my phone. I can't edit it on the phone because it's an Excel document. I don't know why, but I can't edit it. And I do have a hard copy of it too. But the hard copy, again, like quickly goes out of date because I'm always making changes to it. So I guess ACT, for lack of, if you don't mind me calling you just that, the thing is that I'm a creature of habit. Old Tasty might relate. And I like doing things the way I like doing them. And I appreciate you suggesting I stretch those bounds and find a way that accommodates my circumstance, which I can do. It's on my damn phone after all. Robert says, Kurt, I'm going to refine what I'm working on for you. It will be for everyone. It is about forming a new habit, one that I know will serve anyone who adopts it. No more teasers. Working on it. All right. Good job, Robert. Go. Combate. ACT goes on. It seems you eat out a lot. Did you eat out that much when you lived in the U.S.? No, we didn't eat out that much in the U.S. There's two reasons why we're eating out so much. One, basically, for the first month or so, it was just because it was fun. Secondly, now that we're in the process of transitioning houses, we don't have a stable kitchen setup. We're kind of like between worlds. And three, it's so cheap here. It's literally cheap practically. I swear to gosh, it's cheaper practically to eat out here. And it's healthy stuff. I can't believe some of these places we go, and the food is so good and so inexpensive. So it's cheap, convenient, and fun. And I expect that will not change. You mean when I really enjoy eating out? In the United States, we were budget constrained because it was very expensive to eat out, and the options weren't as good. But like I said, dining out is so inexpensive here and so good. I expect you're going to see a lot of eating out in the future on going forward basis too. Oh, Old Tasty, his real name is Kurt as well, even spelled with a K. All right, look at the K, Kurt with a K club. Pleased to meet you, Kurt. It's funny, because that Old Tasty, I was just having an email from a person who I was wondering if it was you at first, who's our age, who is married to a Yumiko, and he and his Yumiko are moving from Southern California, Riverside, where I worked, to set up. They're going to retire here in. I'm not giving out any information. I'm not giving out their particulars. They're going to. I hope I'm not overstepping bounds of privacy, but they're going to retire here to Shizuoka as well. So another exact same thing, almost the same age, coming from the same place, going to retire in the same place. And believe in yourself, Robert says he's 57 too, you youngsters. And Thwallershin, I can't pronounce that. Hi Kurt, I enjoy watching your content. Hello, welcome. It's nice to see you here. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there. And Robert says hi. I concur. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Well, it's 6:36. I'm going to be back at the house by 7 to walk the dogs. I'll finish my little coffee here. And Vladimir says hi. Thank you for the hearts from whoever gave the hearts. I wish you all the best, everybody. Bye-bye, Robert. Be safe, but not too safe. I'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.